On your fast track to 7, the snow and wind we've been warned about is now picking up across the valley. We want to head out right away to the valley today's Aaron Walling, who is keeping us updated on those road conditions in the metro. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Jordan. It's not too bad. The wind is still not as fast as it's going to get later today, but on my way over here on Interstate 94, that snow is starting to get picked up. If a semi passes a snowdrift, that snow gets picked up and I couldn't see really well, and that's going to continue to get worse and worse. But also, currently we're on the intersection of 19th Avenue North and 18th Street North, and this is a pretty prominent place for whenever that snow and blizzard conditions picks up, because this is where they close off, some of the sections to the road systems, because it's almost to a point where you can't even see what's, 3 feet in front of you. But right now it's not too bad. As you can see, there's people driving out and about. But if you take a look at the roads, you're starting to see some of that snow is starting to, almost resemble like wispy air going, or wispy snow going through. But right now, as we're saying, it's not too bad right now. It's going to continue to get worse, as Lisa's been saying all morning. If you are driving out and about, please give yourself some extra time, as some of these intersections are still really slick. The roads are, slick. But also, I have been seeing some crews moving the snow, trying to get that into, snow banks and into piles, just to try to clear the roads so it's not as bad as when the snow drifts are getting out and about. Live in North Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley Today.
All right, Aaron, thank you this morning. We want to head on over to meteorologist Lisa Green this morning. She has been tracking that storm as it's been hitting certain parts of the valley and moving on. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yeah, it's already hitting our western viewing area, especially up in the Devil's Lake Basin. You can see it in our live view at times. If you're watching this, you can actually follow along on our website, and you can see our sky cams there throughout the morning. But we've been seeing the visibility come down. It improves a little bit, and then it comes down again with some drifting snow on the ground there at home of Economy, and then in the distance visibility is dropping as well from time to time. So it's in this area where we've seen some of the strongest gusts happening so far this morning, and that's all spreading eastward as we go through the morning hours. Let's take a look in other places in the valley. We're looking at the tri-level in Fargo right now. Not terrible. We did have that light snow move through, and you can see there's actually still a little bit of blowing snow with some tire tracks here on the interstate showing up in that westbound part of I-94 to go under the tri-level area, especially those bridge decks. Going to be the trouble spots again for icy conditions first this morning with that blowing snow. And crews have been going by these areas, so this is just happening in the last couple of minutes. So they come through and then more snow gets blown onto the road surface. Not looking too bad along Highway 10 and Lake Park at the moment, and then in Baudette we still have some falling snow in our DOT cam there. So here's a look at our winds. This is going to be the most critical thing we're dealing with today, whether we're getting falling snow or not. We're looking at wind that will be kicking up any snow on the ground and causing these areas of low visibility, and that's exactly what's happening up in Langdon. We're at 48-mile-per-hour gusts there, with a gust of 40 in Devil's Lake. Jamestown, not as likely to have the blowing snow, but we're still looking at some really strong winds there to 40 miles per hour right now. Looking at our visibility reports, 0 in Langdon. We've been there for the last hour, so it's starting up for you. Devil's Lake at the airport down to a half mile. Cooperstown has joined in on that sub-mile visibility report at a quarter mile there too. And then Northern Valley and over to the east, this is also where we're still seeing some of that light snow. Southern Valley, again, Fargo looks kind of quiet. Don't let it fool you. It's going to get tougher as the morning goes along. So here's a look at the latest radar. The main area of snow has moved on, but we'll still see these spotty areas of snow developing and moving through. We can see an area just north of Grand Forks trying to get its act together and move its way southeast. So Grand Forks, you might get some snow reports coming in here soon. And then other places over by the James River Valley. Expanding the view a little bit more. This is over the last 6 hours. I just want to show you while you were sleeping that we did get some light snow come through. So fresh snow, that wind will be working with it here today, and we'll be blowing it around. So another step through that hour by hour planner. Expect to have some scattered, isolated areas of snow, but again, whether we have the snow or not, we've got the wind coming our way, and that will continue to increase as the morning goes on. 9 a.m. into that 40-mile-per-hour range, and then gusting above that to even 50 miles per hour at times, especially in eastern North Dakota, in those areas essentially where we have that blizzard warning in effect. And temperatures may surge initially. In fact, they already are in the Southern Valley. those will be coming right back down. Once that cold front moves through, that northwesterly wind will cool us down very quickly, and we'll be stuck in some blowing snow into the afternoon and into the evening hours. Here's a look at our wind gusts. Again, this is for Fargo, starting off not terrible this morning, but watch what happens through the mid-morning hour and into the afternoon. It's these winds. They're going to be the biggest problem, and I'll be tracking them and our visibility reports and conditions throughout the morning for you.
Yeah, a lot to go over this morning. Lisa, thank you for keeping us updated. Another thing to go over, those road conditions right now. And just in the last half hour, they have now issued a broader no travel advisory for portions of North Dakota and travel alerts now for northeastern portions of North Dakota. We're going to go over first that no travel advisory. Now that is from across the Canadian border over to the edge of Pembina County, down and past Walsh, Grand Forks counties, and then to just north of Valley City, Jamestown, up around Minot and back. Everything shaded in red here, that includes the Devil's Lake Basin, is in a no travel advisory. That means there is reduced visibility, possibly near zero visibility out there this morning for those sections. So the DOT officials are saying stay off of these roads this morning. And then that travel alert that was put in place this morning, that is for the counties of Pembina, Walsh, and Grand Forks. They are saying that things can get tricky there real quickly. Conditions can change very fast, so you need to watch out for that. Now heading closer to the Fargo-Moorhead area, what we were talking about right now, they are green on the map. That doesn't mean good, it just means seasonal. We know seasonal in the winter means they can still be slick. However, if we head on over just to Valley City and Jamestown, this blue line we're seeing through the middle of the state, that means they are wet or slushy or frosty, depending on the current temperature and the condition of the road at this time. So be careful there. In Minnesota, we are starting to see some crashes happen there. These pink lines all around Grand Forks, Crookston, Mahnomen, down to Detroit Lakes, that's fully covered. Partially covered, Highway 10, Moorhead to Wadena. I-94 right now is looking green, except once you hit Fergus Falls, then it's partially covered. That Fergus Falls-Dalton area always has a lot of crashes during these storms. Let's take a look at the alerts that are happening right now. It looks like we are talking about a vehicle that is in the middle of the road in New York Mills that's having troubles getting going. It's a traffic hazard, and a spin out between Highway 78 and 460th Street near Perham this morning as well. So be careful wherever you are this morning, because these conditions can change quickly. And a lot of things are changing with schools in the valley this morning. Bad weather is closing schools, delaying some, and prompting virtual learning days at others. We are now hearing that Fargo is closed today. Moorhead is going virtual. Also today, the change happened with Grand Forks, DGF, MSUM, and UND, among other institutions. If you haven't checked lately, check back again, because a lot of districts have changed their plans even since we've gone on air around 4:30 this morning. And it's not clear if these are weather related, but here's a heads up. At least 3 morning flights into and out of Grand Forks are canceled today. They were either coming from or going to Minneapolis. They were all Delta flights. And there were 2 flights this morning from Fargo going to Denver and Chicago that were canceled as well. It's now 6:57. It is sentencing day for the former Twin Cities police officer who says she confused her handgun for her taser when she killed Dante Wright last April. Former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter was convicted of manslaughter in December. Prosecutors are asking for a sentence of just over 7 years. But Potter's defense team says there are mitigating factors that warrant a sentence that is lighter than the state guidelines. They even suggest she could just get probation. Potter has a lack of criminal history and is remorseful for what happened. Defense attorneys also say the victim's conduct is grounds for a sentence reduction. They say Wright escalated that situation last April when he tried running from police. Potter's sentencing is supposed to be at 9 this morning. Aerial video is giving us a good look this morning of what cleanup crews are up against as they work 2 train derailments in Becker County. One train left the tracks west of Frazee around 9 yesterday morning and forced the derailment of a second parked train. Take a look at that mess that they're dealing with. No injuries are reported, but people living nearby did have to be evacuated as a precaution. The Becker County Sheriff says some of the rail cars contain hazardous material, but they have not been compromised. No word on the cause of the derailment or how long it will take BNSF crews to clear the tracks to get trains moving again. Anyone who uses 32nd Avenue South in Fargo knows that it takes a beating, and it has seen better days. One of the worst spots is between 22nd and 32nd Streets, but bids for work on that stretch are way over the city's budget. The estimated cost was $11.7 million, but bids from construction companies came in 40% higher. City engineers are recommending commissioners reject all of the bids and then reopen bidding in October.
It's really a perfect storm of we kind of bid it probably later than we should have. With the material scarcity these days, we probably should have bid it in the fall. So that's what we're going to look forward to this year.
The City Commission will consider the idea at its Tuesday meeting. There is a fundraiser planned for tonight for 14-year-old Brody Gilbertson of West Fargo, who's battling leukemia. That benefit starts at 6 at the Red River Regional Marksmanship Center in West Fargo. There is also an online silent auction that goes until 8 tonight. The link is on Brody's Lend a Hand Up page. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. We continue to follow the blizzard blasting the region right now on the Fargo CW. Stay safe and have a happy Friday.